stop right there, because what I'm about to tell you could affect your wallet sooner than you think. A new Social Security rule is rolling out, and it's causing payment dates to shift again, leaving millions of Americans confused, frustrated, or completely unaware that their next deposit might arrive earlier, later, or even double up in the same month. This isn't rumor or clickbait, it's happening right now. And if you rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or survivor benefits to cover rent, groceries, or monthly bills, you cannot afford to miss these updates. In this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know: who's affected first, why the dates are changing, what your new payment schedule looks like, and the one critical step you need to take today to avoid a delayed or missing deposit. The government isn't exactly putting this in bold print, but I will, because you deserve clarity, not surprises. Before we dig into the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an urgent Social Security update that could impact your income. Let's get started. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the money you've been counting on, the Social Security payment that arrives like clockwork every month, is suddenly showing up on a different day than you expected. For millions of Americans who depend on these payments to cover rent, groceries, medications, and other essential expenses, even a small change in payment dates can create real challenges. The truth is, while headlines might scream about shocking new laws, changing Social Security payment dates, what's really happening is far less dramatic, but still important to understand. Let me walk you through exactly what's going on, why these changes occur, and what they actually mean for your monthly benefits. First, let's establish something crucial right from the start. There isn't actually a brand new law that's suddenly overhauling when Social Security payments arrive. Instead, what we're dealing with is the regular system that's been in place for many years, along with occasional adjustments that happen when payment dates fall on weekends or federal holidays. Understanding this distinction matters because it helps you separate real information from sensationalized claims that might cause unnecessary worry. The Social Security Administration operates on a schedule that was established decades ago, and while that schedule has rules that cause dates to shift sometimes, the underlying system remains remarkably consistent. So, how does the Social Security payment schedule actually work? The system is designed around your birth date, which determines when during each month you'll receive your benefits. Think of it like this: the Social Security Administration needs to distribute payments to tens of millions of people, and doing it all on one day would be logistically impossible. Instead, they spread payments throughout the month based on a simple formula. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th day of any month, your payment arrives on the second Wednesday of each month. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, you get paid on the third Wednesday. And if you were born between the 21st and the end of the month, your payment comes on the fourth Wednesday. This system has been working this way since 1997, which means it's been around for nearly 3 decades now. There's an important exception to this Wednesday schedule that catches some people by surprise. If you started receiving Social Security benefits before May 1997, or if you receive supplemental security income, you're actually on a different schedule altogether. These payments arrive on the third day of each month, regardless of your birth date. This creates a two-tier system where some beneficiaries follow the birth date rules while others get their money at the beginning of each month. The reason for this split goes back to when the Social Security Administration made changes to handle the growing number of beneficiaries more efficiently. Now, here's where things get interesting, and where those headlines about changing payment dates come from. When your scheduled payment date falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the Social Security Administration moves your payment to the last business day before that weekend or holiday. Let me give you a concrete example to make this crystal clear. Imagine your payment is scheduled for Wednesday, December 25th. That's Christmas Day, which is a federal holiday. The banks are closed, and there's no way to process your payment on that day. Instead of making you wait until after Christmas, the Social Security Administration will send your payment early on the last business day before the holiday. In this case, that would be Tuesday, December 24th. This adjustment system exists to protect beneficiaries, not to inconvenience them. Think about what would happen if the government simply skipped payments on holidays and made you wait until the next business day. If your payment was supposed to arrive on Friday, but Friday was a holiday, you might not see your money until the following Monday. That could mean going 3 or 4 days without expected funds, which could be devastating for someone living paycheck to paycheck. By moving payments earlier rather than later, the Social Security Administration ensures you actually get your money faster when holidays interfere with the regular schedule. The confusion and concern about changing payment dates often intensifies around certain times of year. The holiday season from November through January sees several federal holidays that can affect payment schedules. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day all fall during this period, and depending on which day of the week they occur, they can shift payment dates around. Similarly, long holiday weekends like Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Labor Day can cause adjustments. What makes this even more confusing is that these adjustments aren't the same every year, because holidays fall on different days of the week each year. A holiday that falls on Wednesday one year might land on Saturday 3 years later, creating different patterns of payment date changes. Another source of confusion comes from the difference between when the Social Security Administration sends your payment and when you actually receive it. In today's world, most people receive their benefits through direct deposit, which means the money appears in your bank account on the scheduled payment date. This is fast, reliable, and automatic. However, some beneficiaries still receive paper checks in the mail. If you're in this group, you need to understand that the payment date represents when the check is mailed, not when it arrives in your mailbox. Depending on where you live and how the postal service is running, you might receive that check anywhere from a few days to over a week after the official payment date. This delay is one reason the Social Security Administration strongly encourages everyone to switch to direct deposit. Let's talk about what happens when payments seem to arrive unexpectedly early. Sometimes beneficiaries notice their money showing up a day or two before they expected it, and this can actually cause confusion rather than relief. You might wonder if there's been a mistake or if something has changed with your benefits. In reality, this usually happens because of the weekend and holiday rule we discussed earlier. If your payment date falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or Monday holiday, you'll get paid on the Friday before. That's the last business day. And it means your money arrives earlier than the calendar date you were expecting. While getting paid early sounds like good news, it can throw off your budgeting if you weren't prepared for it, especially if you have automatic bill payments scheduled based on when you thought the money would arrive. The question many people ask is whether these payment date changes affect how much money you receive. This is an important point to clarify. The timing of your payment has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of your payment. Whether your Social Security check arrives on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, the dollar amount remains exactly the same. The only thing that changes is which day the money reaches your account. Your benefit amount is calculated based on your earnings history and the age at which you started claiming benefits. And that calculation doesn't change just because a holiday moved your payment date around. You're getting the same money you were always entitled to receive, just on a slightly different schedule when necessary. Understanding these payment patterns becomes especially important when you're planning your monthly budget. Many Americans live month to month, carefully timing their bill payments, rent, and other expenses around when their Social Security money arrives. If you're one of these individuals, you need to stay aware of the federal holiday calendar and anticipate when your payments might arrive earlier than usual. The Social Security Administration publishes a payment schedule calendar each year that shows exactly when payments will be made for each month, taking into account all the weekends and holidays that will affect the schedule. This calendar is available on their official website and it's an invaluable tool for planning your finances throughout the year. There's also the matter of cost of living adjustments, which sometimes get confused with payment date changes. Every year, Social Security benefits are adjusted to account for inflation, and this adjustment, known as QA, changes the amount of money you receive. When these adjustments happen, they typically take effect in January, and sometimes beneficiaries receive letters or notifications about the changes around the same time that holiday related payment date shifts are occurring. This timing can create confusion, making people think that the payment date changes are somehow connected to their benefit amounts changing. In reality, these are two completely separate things happening independently of each other. What about those alarming headlines that suggest Social Security is making major changes or that new laws are affecting when you get paid? In most cases, these headlines are either misunderstanding routine scheduling adjustments or deliberately exaggerating minor changes to attract attention. The fundamental structure of Social Security payment dates hasn't changed in decades. What does change is the specific date in each month when holidays and weekends cause adjustments. Sometimes news outlets or online content creators will present these routine adjustments as if they're breaking news or major policy changes, when in fact, they're just the normal operation of a system that's been working the same way for years. It's worth understanding why the Social Security Administration can't simply standardize all payments to arrive on the same date every month, regardless of what day of the week it is. The banking system in the United States only processes transactions on business days. When banks are closed for weekends and holidays, there's no infrastructure operating to move money between accounts. The Social Security Administration doesn't have some special ability to override this system. They're bound by the same banking and payment processing rules that affect everyone else. This means that when a payment date falls on a non-businessiness day, there's literally no way to deliver the money on that specific date. The only options are to move it earlier or later, and the government has chosen to move payments earlier to benefit recipients. Looking ahead, you might wonder whether these payment date rules will ever change in any meaningful way. While it's always possible that Congress could pass legislation modifying how Social Security payments are scheduled, there's currently no serious proposal to do so. The existing system works reasonably well for distributing billions of dollars to millions of people each month. Any major change would require careful planning and would likely be announced well in advance with plenty of time for beneficiaries to prepare. If real legislative changes were coming to Social Security payment dates, you would hear about them through official channels from the Social Security Administration, not through sensational headlines on social media or clickbait websites. For beneficiaries who want to stay informed about their specific payment dates, the best approach is to check the official Social Security Administration payment calendar at the beginning of each year. You can also sign up for a My Social Security account on the SSA website, which gives you access to personalized information about your benefits, including payment dates and amounts. Having this information directly from the source helps you avoid confusion and ensures you're working with accurate data rather than secondhand information that might be incomplete or misleading. The bottom line is that Social Security payment dates do change from month to month, but these changes follow predictable patterns based on weekends, holidays, and your birth date. There's no shocking new law causing chaos with payment schedules. Instead, what we have is a well-established system that's been functioning reliably for decades, with built-in rules that adjust payment dates when necessary to ensure beneficiaries receive their money on time. By understanding how this system works, you can plan your finances more effectively, avoid unnecessary worry when payments arrive on unexpected dates, and recognize sensationalized headlines for what they are. Your Social Security benefits are secure, your payment schedule follows clear rules, and any changes you see in payment dates are almost certainly just the normal operation of a system designed to get your money to you as reliably as possible every single month.